Your Health, where we explore the latest in health across the country. I'm Erica Cardenas. We're following guidelines for coronavirus, so we're still sheltering at home and taping via Skype. Today we're talking about the toll all of this isolation is taking on our mind and on our bodies. But first, let's take a look at what's coming up on the show. We hear the story of Brian and how anxiety ruled his life and how he overcame it. We visit with a company who helps women with hair loss issues. And I'll show you how to make an immune-boosting smoothie. All that and more in this episode of Your Health. Staying at home is difficult for many of us, but for those with addictions, it is a very trying time. Joining us now is Dr. Dye to talk about the impact of isolation on those with addiction issues. Thanks for joining us, Doctor.
Absolutely. Thank you for inviting me.
First off, what type of disorders do you treat at WD Recovery and Wellness Center?
Well, we treat a range of disorders. We treat eating disorders, alcohol, substance abuse, sexual abuse, trauma-related disorders, and personality disorders.
Doctor, how is the isolation of the pandemic impacting those with addictions or those who are in recovery right now?
Absolutely, absolutely. One of the major things is to understand the basis of an addiction and recovery. A lot of people outsource their feelings, so to speak, on things like to cope on alcohol, shopping, food, not eating, exercise, and other ways, gambling. And as you notice with the pandemic, a lot of these things have been shut down. So people are really isolated. Their coping has really been isolated also. You know, their whole way of being has been shut down and how they deal with the outside world.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, Doctor, many of us think, of drug or alcohol addictions, but I can imagine those with food disorders are also impacted during this time. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, a lot of ways, because people, stress is involved in how they feel about themselves, and they're not able to go to the gym and exercise those feelings away. And they're stuck at home, and they're also stuck in the house with those family members. And when there's conflict, the only available means that most people have is food, to eat or not eat, and how they comfort those emotions.
What about at-home resources? Are there any at-home resources that people can utilize, to help them get through this time right now?
Absolutely. A big part of it is learning to communicate. A lot of people don't even know how to communicate. Journaling is one good way to get feelings outside of yourself. A lot of people don't really talk about emotions. They're used to being human doers, not human beings, not really talking about how they feel. They're used to going to work and putting their feelings at work, with family members, either controlling the environment or not having any control over things. So it's really highlighting how they feel about themselves.
If we have a loved one, who is struggling, how can we help them? What are some tips?
Well, have them to journal, have them to write, listen to music, read a book, call a friend. A lot of times it's easier for people to talk over the phone. A lot of people are doing these Zoom meetings and things, but a big part of people's communication, if you think of a mask, now a lot of people wear masks. And if people are putting on masks, it's hard for people to communicate because a lot of people have to see this to understand people. So it's going to change the way people communicate, how they do that effectively.
Is there any last advice for our viewers, who may be struggling right now? What would you say to them?
Give us a call someone if they need help. Look, call me. I make myself available to anyone over the phone. My staff is available. It doesn't matter if you can't get out of the house, give us a call. We'll speak with you over the phone and help you find creative ways during this isolation period to help you deal with your emotions and come up with choices.
So, Doctor, your center is open for business. Why was that important for you to stay open during this time?
We're a vital resource to help people deal with a lot of the shutdown and a lot of their emotional feelings around what's happening out there today. So we are available for those people, especially with the suicide rates going up, the depression rates going up.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for all this great advice. We appreciate everything you're doing, and we appreciate you. Stay safe and stay healthy.
You as well. Thank you.
Anxiety disorders can impact a person in many ways. They often disrupt the way you live your life. As one author explains, his anxiety overtook his life for decades.
Everybody worries and everybody has anxiety. And an anxiety attack is essentially taking worry and making it to its worst form, to where you are panicking over things that does not affect you physically. It's more of emotional panic than it is physically. A panic attack is when it affects you emotionally and physically, and then you need to do something about it. I was arrested 13 times. I'm laughing now because when you think back at it, it's comical. Back then, it was not so funny. My name is Brian Benedus. I've been suffering from acute anxiety for 4 decades. So what happens is, as a person suffers from anxiety and panic, it's the what ifs, it's the constant negativity. There's nothing positive that can come after that sentence if you suffer from anxiety. What if I make an error? What if I pass out? What if I'm not good at the presentation? And those are surface. I can get even lower to physical. What if my heart just stops? It started when I was 5 years old. Sleepovers to me were the worst words in the world, because that meant I had to fake sleeping. And then if I woke up in the middle of the night, because if I did fall asleep, then my throat would close. So what I'd have to do is I would literally take my hands like this and hold them and make sure I can feel myself swallowing. So now I'm 11 years old, I'm 58 years old, I'll be 59 next week, and I still remember doing this. So what I did was I learned to associate my bad thoughts with pain. And every time I did that, and I went through a lot of rubber bands and a lot of pain physically, because you'd be amazed how many thousands of bad thoughts you can have in a very short period of time. So I use this as a reminder of where I came from, as well as it's a tool. You learn to manage it, and you manage it with your own, I call my own toolbox, not with medication. This needs to get out there, and I want to be one of the people that is an expert at dealing with this and show people that you can manage it, and it doesn't have to ruin your life.
If you're feeling isolated, here's a way to help. Why not start a virtual book club with your friends and family? The weekly Zoom meetings will give you a connection to look forward to. Here's what's coming up next on the show. A trip to Omaha to see how a special store is helping women gain self-esteem, and the importance of colonoscopies. Whether it's chemotherapy or an autoimmune disease, there are many reasons why women lose their hair. And at Abravadas in Omaha, they're helping these women gain a new sense of confidence.
Here at Abravadas, we're a full-service wig store. We take care of people's hair pieces and wigs. We sell all types of wigs, from synthetic to blends to human hair. We try to network with our customers too. You know, we kind of get people together that have common ground or common needs. Probably 65% of our customers are women going through chemotherapy, but there are a lot of other hair loss issues as well.
2012, I was diagnosed with leukemia. All that you go through. You lose hair, you have skin rashes, and you don't feel very well. I do international music from all over the world. I do the American Songbook. I do a lot of shows here in Omaha. And I'm just so grateful that Abravadas has been here. And I've been coming here to get my extensions and all my hair needs.
The short styles are fun too.
Okay. Yeah. When a person comes in, we have them fill out a little information, and then we do we schedule an hour consultation. So we just sit down and talk about what their needs are, look at color, style. You know, we've had customers say it's kind of a safe house for women. You know, when we talk about the community of women just sharing common ground of chemotherapy or alopecia or something like that.
I have an autoimmune condition called alopecia, which basically means that your body attacks your hair follicles and you start to lose your hair. I first came here looking for some ways to just kind of fill in the gaps, just to fill in the bald patches. And so they would help me find accessories, clip-in pieces that would just kind of fill in the spots where I was losing hair. The alopecia just became more progressive. I was losing enough hair that the hair pieces and the clip-in pieces just weren't doing the trick anymore. My first experience walking into Abravadas to actually try on a full wig was really an emotional experience. Wow, this is kind of fun.
Wow.
I loved the fact that Abravadas had private rooms, that I didn't feel like I was out in the open, exposed, where people could see my, issues.
There's these little clips that lock the hair onto the head, and once that's positioned correctly and locked on, you can go out in the wind. We always say we don't guarantee them in a tornado, but but under most conditions, they're gonna stick with you.
A lot of fears of what's it gonna be like, what's it gonna feel like. Mostly, are people gonna be able to tell? And the truth of the matter is, nobody can tell. Even friends that are hairstylists have looked at me and said, no way. I feel like it's my responsibility to my teenage daughters to be a role model for them and to have them see that even though mom has gone through this difficult experience of losing her hair, I'm not gonna stop living my life.
It's just really nice to be able to make a difference here and there, just to help someone get through a bad part of their life or restore their self-esteem, their self-image.
I'm just so grateful that there are places like this that make us feel good again. They're just, they're angels, so thank you.
Some preventative procedures may be on hold right now, but as the doctors at Honor Health explain, the importance of getting a colonoscopy can't be understated.
My name is Jose Machine. I'm one of the board-certified gastroenterologists here with Honor Health. First decided in gastroenterology back in med school. Since then, I've been fascinated by the study in gastroenterology. I was fortunate enough to move on and get a training at Creighton University. Since then, I've been passionate about helping my patients with their GI diseases. Colon cancer, basically, it's a malignant growth that occurs in the large intestine. People over 50, the chance of getting colon cancer goes higher. Obviously, it can happen at younger age if you have family members with colon cancer or other certain conditions in the GI tract. Colon cancer can affect your everyday life. If you don't diagnose it in time, many patients will need to get chemotherapy, will need to get surgery as part of the treatment for it. So colon cancer prevention is very important. We have here at Honor Health many ways to offer preventive testing. There's stool-based tests, there's x-ray testing, there's actually direct visualization of the colon with the colonoscopy. So by doing one of these tests, you can prevent colon cancer. So many patients have certain myths or stigmas about the process of the colonoscopy. So first of all, colonoscopy, it's a procedure that we do very frequently. It's a very safe procedure. We use a flexible camera with a light to go throughout the rectum to survey the colon looking for these polyps. Most of the time we're only paying attention to the monitor and not at your behind. There's a lot of stories out there, to be honest. Every day we do a colonoscopy. We many times find colon polyps. These are removed. Every time we remove a polyp, there's association of less rate of colon cancer. That's why colonoscopy is very important. Colon cancer information is readily available. If you visit your primary care physician here at Honor Health, they'll be able to offer you different types and alternatives in terms of colon cancer screening.
Many seniors are feeling isolated during these times. A great way to lift their spirits is to plan a virtual dinner date with them. You can even have dinner delivered so you can share the same meal together. A great connection for everyone involved. Stick around, we have more to come on Your Health. A story of struggle and addiction and how one woman came out on the other side. And I'll share my immune-boosting smoothie recipe with you. Getting on a path to recovery was a struggle for Izzy, but with some help, she's now on her way to success.
Where I grew up was like, if you can keep doing the stuff you need to do and you can still manage to get messed up, then like it's fine. That lifestyle stayed with me. It was, if I had a good day, I wanted to get drunk. If I had a bad day, I wanted to get drunk. I lived with my good friends at the time, and I guess they got to see me behind closed doors. I kind of tried to play it off like, I'm fine, everything's fine. Like, I didn't want my problems to be like a burden on them or kind of seem like I was like throwing a pity party for myself. They got to see me become like an isolation drinker and disappear kind of inside. Like, people talk about how when they go to treatment, they're like in a shell of themselves, and like that's what it was. They've been talking with Decision Point, and they gave me an intervention, and they said, we can't help you, and like we know you can't help yourself, but like we're taking you to some place that can, and it did. Decision Point has done so much for me. I don't even know where to begin. Their group therapy is awesome. Like, I had never been in that type of a setting before. They wanted me to talk about my problems, and like I've never really had that. My feelings and hardships, they were important, and they made me okay with myself in ways that I had never been even before I started using drugs. I've had friends that were girls my entire life, but it's never reached the level of depth that it did when I was there. A&R was awesome, activities and recreation. They do a really good camping trip. It's a lot of fun. We also did, recovery-oriented exercises. Like, we had time to like kind of meditate in the forest alone. It was just nice to be out of a treatment setting and like being able to enjoy myself and knowing like, oh, this is actually gonna be possible. They set me up for living a life outside of treatment. I still live in Prescott. I go to meetings in my home group. I work at a restaurant here, and I also house manage. I fellowship, and I just surround myself with sober people. It's crazy that like I can wake up and know that I'm capable of living a day, going to work, getting errands done, doing things that I never used to be able to do without either being on something to give me the energy to get through it or drinking something afterwards to reward me. That's something that I never thought that I would have for myself. Thanks to Decision Point, I've been sober for 16 months.
Don't go anywhere, we have more coming up on Your Health. How mango and turmeric can boost your immune system.
From my kitchen to yours, I am bringing you a delicious, quick, and easy immune-boosting smoothie that you can make right from your own kitchen. This is called an orange turmeric vitamin C smoothie, aka liquid sunshine. So let's get right into the ingredients that you're gonna need to make this smoothie. So first off, you're gonna need 1 cup almond milk. You're also gonna need a banana, an orange, 1 cup of frozen mango chunks, and half a tablespoon of turmeric powder. Now, you can also use fresh turmeric if you'd like. So what you would do is you would take ½ inch of peeled, fresh turmeric. Either one is great, powder, fresh, it's really your preference. So then what you're gonna do is, depending on your blender, you're gonna blend it up for about 30 seconds or so. So let's get right into our ingredients. Your base, again, is your almond milk. So you start with that first. Then your banana. Now, bananas, of course, provide a natural energy boost along with iron, potassium, great for your body, followed up by your orange. Of course, oranges, right, packed with antioxidants thanks to the vitamin C in them, fiber, folate, lots of great stuff for your body. Followed up by your turmeric powder. Now, turmeric powder is a great antioxidant rich spice, and it's a great anti-inflammatory as well. So add that in there. Now, when you're mixing ingredients, I like to start with the liquid soft ingredients first, and then follow it up with my frozen and then my hard ingredients last. So therefore, we're gonna go ahead and lastly put in our mango chunks. So you have frozen mango chunks right in there, perfect. Super easy, super quick, right? And now just go ahead and blend that up again, depending on your blender, for about 30 seconds or so. All right, this looks nice and smooth. This looks great, you guys. So I cannot wait for you to try this smoothie at home. Again, orange, turmeric, immune boosting smoothie, liquid sunshine, great for your immune system. Wherever you're at right now, stay healthy, friends, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.
Take my word for it, that smoothie recipe is delicious. I'm Erica Cardenas. Thanks so much for joining us. Stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you next time.